Well guys, here we are in part 12 of the office renovation project. In part 11 you've seen us cut the desktop there pretty much in half and spot putty all the walls, all the nicks, all the screw holes, all that. Then paint touch-ups on the walls, virtually the whole bottom half of the wall all the way around. So this evening, all you notice there, the paint's all dry, everything's good to roll, so the next focus here is of course on the desktop. Now originally there was supposed to be a gable end type of dealie here to come down and actually support this. So the bracket was left off until I did a final decision. And yeah, she does need to be something supported here because it is a little bit wobbly. So of course I'm going to use just a standard bracket just like I've got under the other ones here. And of course, being it don't fall on a stud, the stud is actually the stud for this electrical box is actually on this side of the electrical box, not where it needs to be on that side. If it was on that side it'd be sweet because I could just tie right in because that's virtually straight down from where I need to be. But hey, whatever, that's the way she is. So being we have nothing solid to anchor in there, I'm going to use the hollow wall anchors, of course, drilling the 3/16 hole and running them in. But yeah guys, she's coming along fairly well. After we got the desktop secured, then of course we'll go around and we'll sand and prep all these little holes and all that good stuff, as well as all these little screw holes and all that, sanding any edges that is going to interfere with the desktop material I'm going to put on her. After that, yeah, we're free to glue the desktop material down, and yeah, then we're pretty much golden. So yeah, I've marked out the holes in the wall here where I want to put the bracket. So I'm going to drill those holes and install the anchors. Well guys, got the desktop all fastened down, all securely all the way along. Got her all re-leveled on this corner. I've got to do a little bit of re-leveling on this corner here just by pretty much loosening off those bolts, sliding in a bit of a wedge just to bring this corner up. But other than that, she's pretty much good to go here. So I'm going to install the wedges in this corner and then start filling these holes. So guys, to fill the holes I'm going to use some of this Elmer's brand, what they call wood filler, and I've squeezed it in the hole there, and I'm just going to take a putty knife and pretty much just work it in the hole to have it, semi-covered, right? And of course, this is the final product. I'm going to end up sanding it and all that as well. This is just to get it applied to the surface. I'm going to assume it'll probably shrink a little bit as it dries. So of course there'll be, maybe possibly a second coat applied or whatever's, as well as of course the normal sanding that's involved in any type of a project. There's other crack filler, hole filler things on the market. I've also actually seen them just use standard like wood glue and a sawdust mix to get a desired result they're looking for. And if it's good enough for the professionals, by far it should do what I'm looking for it to do. The only thing with this stuff I find is when it dries next to rock hard. So you want to make sure you're not over applying because it'll drive you nuts when it comes to sand it. But guys, we'll let this stuff dry and clean off the work surface here. And once she's dry, we can sand her. So guys, I got the counter all cleaned off here. She's pretty much good to roll. When I applied the bottom board that's holding these two pieces together, I used screws. However, the very tips of the screws have poked through the other side here, right? Now, of course, these little points have to be addressed before we put down the countertop material, or else, of course, they're going to like scratch and wear their way through. There's several ways you can deal with these. You can sand them with you can take a file to them and file them, take an angle grinder to them and angle grinder, them down, right? I'm going to use me a little cutting stone here. Just give them a light little touch or two just to get them, trimmed down, and then she's pretty much golden. So guys, now we got those spots ground down for the, the screw points. We'll take our handy dandy Black & Decker palm sander here and pretty much sand out all these spots where I puttied the bolt heads and all that good stuff. Just giving it a general sand, taking off anything like any adhesive, any decals, any stickers, and good stuff like that. And I'll probably give her a once over again just to make sure she's all just so, but she's coming along fairly well, guys, so let's keep on sanding. So guys, once you got the sanding all done and of course all the dust all cleaned up, then you're pretty much ready to apply the wonderful contact cement. And of course the adhesive we're going to use is the LePage brand Heavy Duty. And yeah, you crack the lid off and that's pretty much what she looks like. So yeah, just if you're going to do this, make sure you're using a brush that doesn't matter. Don't use a normal paintbrush because you end up throwing it away anyway. Just use what I've always done, just used a cheap foam brush, and it's worked quite fine. So what I'll do, guys, is I'll throw you on the old tripod and then we'll start applying the glue. So guys, I've applied my wonderful handy dandy contact cement to both the wood surface as well as the countertop material surface. Now the instructions say to let set 15 minutes till like tacky-ish, and then you can lay them two together. Now the reason why they call them contact cement is once you've laid them together, the both glued surfaces, they get a bond going. And both those glued surfaces should not let go. I've done this process 2 or 3 times, and I've done this process quite a few times, and I've never had an issue with it letting go. So yeah, guys, we'll let this dry, they say about 15 minutes, and then we'll come back and see how she sticks. So guys, after wrestling with it a bit, I got her to approximately where I feel comfortable with her being. It's not perfect, but hey, that's the way she's going to be. I've got her pretty much lined up in a, in a straight line, right? Of course, in this section here is where she's a little bit too big for the top, but you give her a bit of a trim and she's just fine. So I'm going to run my knife over her, give her a trim, and then start giving her the touch-ups. So guys, now we got the countertop material laid out, glued out. She's not going anywhere or too far anyway. We can start working on the what I'm going to call the backsplash or whatevers of the counter here. Pretty much what we got is going around the back. It helps to hide the edge of the desktop. Obviously, you know, if the wall's not true or nothing, you have to hide that little gap. It's not much, but it's enough, you know. So you put something like that up there, and it kind of finishes it off and kind of helps to like tie everything in or together, right? So yeah, pretty much. I ran down to the old hardware store, picked up some of the MDF molding here, and cut her to length, and she's pretty much good to go here. So I'm going to fire up my handy dandy brad nail and kind of go to town.